My notes, audience. All right. Video games. In our generation, technology has been improving exponentially. Technology for everyday life, technology for the benefit of the world, and now it's been made for recreational purposes. For a long time, video games have been thought of as bad for kids. It kept them inside and glued to a screen for hours on end. Unlike previous generations, this one tends to want to stay inside and just play. Obviously, parents and adults of previous generations see that as detrimental toward their kids, and there's zero to no benefit to them being stuck inside for a long time. It's just a pointless time waster, and that their kids lose their cognitive abilities. But what if I were to tell you that video games actually boost your cognitive abilities? Today I'm going to explain to you why video games are effective in boosting your brain power. Brain development is a great thing. As we progress, we gain knowledge, and the things we do every day can either improve or they can weaken our cognitive abilities. If we were just to sit in our room every day and just stare at a wall, that would cause our brain power to plummet, right? What about those who cannot go outside and play with their friends? What about those who can't reach the front door because their body doesn't allow them to? Are we supposed to just let them live every day stuck in a house doing the same tedious routine? How can we stimulate their brain? Our brain is a vital organ. We need to do everything in our lives, from eating, sleeping, or even singing a song. The brain controls everything. If we don't use our muscles, they get weaker. Same thing applies to our brain. If we don't exercise it, then our cognitive abilities become weaker. Have you noticed the simple multiplication problems that you used to fly through as a kid became a little harder over time? That's because now we don't practice it, even though we integrate it into the studies that we do now. It's not like we practice the same multiplication problems. It's because when you were younger, that's what you would practice. But now you forget, or at least are a little bit slower. Video games are a way to stimulate those cognitive abilities, from reaction times to decision making. It may even be simple things like driving a car or solving puzzles. But there are many different kinds of games that have the ability to trigger different abilities in your brain. There are different types of gaming and genres in gaming. There are adventure games, sandbox games, FPS, aka first-person shooter games, role-playing games, and many, many more. The University of Arizona say long-lasting cognitive skills are linked to playing video games. Although it can be addicting, perhaps the benefits outweigh the cons. James Palgi divides gaming into two categories: problem games and world games. Problem games focus on a more given problem or a class of problems like Tetris or Rise of Nations, while world games simulate a more wide range of problems like Half-Life or Rise of Nations. Super Mario Bros. Is one of those games that sit right in between those two categories. Games like Call of Duty or Rainbow Six Siege are FPS games. These could possibly help with decision making under pressure, reflexes, and strategy. Games like Tetris or Block Me can help your brain solve puzzles. Simulator games like Flight Simulator train pilots to do real flying. Rather than risking their lives in an actual plane, they could practice safely through these programs. Adam Oschenbaum says that today's video games initiate naturally and effectively many principles psychologists, neuroscientists, and educators believe to be critical in learning. Now that we see the benefits of video games, how can we start to apply these principles so that it could benefit and improve the world around us? As we get older, we tend to lose a lot of our brain abilities. Our cognitive abilities decline as we grow older in life. Is there a way to prevent or improve our brain again after that decline? In a journal written by Jeffrey Goldstein, there's a study that used a group of 22 elderly people. Half were required to play at least 5 hours of Tetris a week, while the other group just did their regular chores and just did without playing video games. Their report stated that those who played video games developed a significant improvement in their reaction time and well-being compared to those who didn't. This also included the improvement of their cognitive abilities as well. In this study, we could see how much these geriatrics improved just from playing video games. When used in the right situation, video games can be helpful for people. It provides entertainment while stimulating the brain's ability to process information. Different types of video games can provide as a gym for your brain. They don't all need to be gruesome first-person shooter games. And they can be simple games like Escape the Room that require you to piece different pieces of your environment to solve a puzzle. Although video games was once thought of to be bad for the average person, we can see here that there are a lot of benefits to playing video games. Not all video games have to be violent and involve killing. There are video games that include educational purposes, for example, Minecraft EU. The preservation of our brain is very important. We need our brain to be as strong as possible, so we need ways to exercise our brain to keep it working well. There are many ways to improve your brain's capabilities, but video games prove to be very effective. If you guys want to, find a game that you like and play it. It doesn't have to be on a computer or on a console. It could be a video game on your phone. Just take some time to improve your brain and have some fun. Video games were meant for you to have fun. It just happens that it has some extra benefits. Thank you for listening.